guys, Prince of Macedon here. I'm going to do a commentary video for Total War Rome 2. My opponent's name is Rosco Simmons. He'll be commanding the Romans, and I'll be commanding the Macedonians. If you look at his army, he has, right there, looks like 5 armored legionnaires, 4 triarii, 4 Praetorian cav, 3 Syrian archers, and a bodyguard unit. I have 4 heavy cav, looks like 6 foot companions, and 4 archers. So the forces are relatively equal. I mean, he has a few more troops than I do. But anyways, this is the replay, so there are going to be differences between the replay and what actually happened. I will point out those differences so that you're not confused. And this video will demonstrate some of the things that you could get away with in Rome 1 you can't really get away with in Rome 2. Namely that you can charge pike units from the front with legionnaires. Granted, I am using top-of-the-line pikemen, so that might have something to do with it too. And you're going to see that Praetorian cav is still really strong. So anyways, first thing to note, well, that's the tactical map. You activate that by holding the tab key or by double-clicking tab. But yeah, something to note, one of my YouTube viewers told me this. To keep your army in formation, first highlight all the troops you want in formation, and then hit Control and G. That'll group your guys, and it'll keep them in formation when you try to move them. If you just use the G key, that'll group your guys, but it won't keep them in formation. So there's a slight difference. So anyways, you saw my troops. I had my archers, the foot companions, Thessalians, and finally you saw my companions. My opponent's concentrating all of his Praetorian cav on one wing. Yeah, if you'll notice, his Praetorian cav has no upgrades on it. And me, I was fooling around with silver upgrades on my cav. There's my opponent's 3 Syrian archers right there. A lot of armor on them. They look really silly. Triarii and some awesome looking armored legionnaires. Kind of cool seeing them fighting side by side with a Triarii. But yeah, this is the cool looking map. Looks like, I don't know. I don't want to say New Mexico, but it looks like something interesting. Anyways, I'm going to concentrate all my cav on one wing, just because that's what he's doing with his. And Alexander the Great did that in at least one of his battles. He had to focus all of his cav, at least all of his heavy cav, onto one wing in order to deal with the enemy threat. So I'm going for a charge on his cav, and at the same time I'm bringing up my archer so I can wear down his archers. So I put my guys into flaming mode, just because it's awesome to look at with close-ups. So right now the battle's going exactly the way it started, or the way it went during the actual battle. There's some really hot action going on there. If you look in the back, you see my cav going on it with his cav. This is a general brawl. So just like some action going on here. Obviously. Macedon! So one of my cav units got there kind of late. But one of my cav units had a 1-on-1 situation. And in my 1-on-1 cav situation, my guys were silver upgraded. And anyway, this is where my opponent does a frontal charge on my pike units. You can do this in Rome 2. I'm sorry, in Rome 1 with urban cohorts against top-of-the-line phalanx units, and you can take down the phalanx units. Here, you can't really do that. You gotta outflank them. It's a cool cinematic view there. You can see the archers firing over the infantry body. And this did happen during the actual battle. I did take out his infantry really fast. And I did lose the cav fight, but I did manage to withdraw one of my cav units, and he was able to survive this fight here. But in the replay, my cav gets destroyed. So that's one huge difference right there already in the replay versus what actually happened. And that's kind of important because I was able to take my surviving cav and run down his archers with it. So I really do hope they fix the replay feature, because it's kind of important, especially for for the YouTube commentators who don't record live all the time. Me, I like to do 50-50. Right now I'm doing mainly replay so that you can see close-ups. So I did take some shots at his infantry with my archers. And he did have 4 surviving Praetorian cav. Thing is, another big difference here is that I was able to keep all my survivors, or all my archers intact, at least 3 of them. And you're gonna see that I lose my archers in the replay. So if you're gonna record from the replay while they try to fix the replay system, then you really should try to point out the differences between what happened in the replay versus what actually happened, because you will find lots of differences. And I don't think he had any legionnaires at this point. I think I pretty much butchered them with my Sarissa units. And I put all my archers behind my pike units. So for the most part, it was basically his 4 cav units versus my archers and my phalanx. Like at this point, my last remaining companion unit had to retreat because one of the archers held their ground, and I was able to rout that archer unit eventually. But yeah, you can see he still has a lot of archers left. Still has a lot of legionnaires left. Should not be the case. But it's still cool to see the replays. Let's see. I did manage to save the battle results because I recorded that live. The reason why I don't record live that much anymore is because I've noticed that lately the game will randomly crash when I turn fraps on or when I start recording. So I'm kind of weary about doing that, especially during an actual battle, because if the game crashes, then that'll count as a loss. I mean, I'm not doing so well with my record, but still, I don't want to lose like that. But yeah, you can see that he still has legionnaires there. He shouldn't have legionnaires anymore. Basically, all he had left were his cav units, and I had plenty of troops to deal with all of his cav. Because if he got even close to me, I would just flame him with my archers. And if he got even closer, then my Sarissas would impale them. But yeah, if you're a Roman player and you see pike units, you have to outflank them. And trust me, when you do outflank them, it's very, very effective. So I want to applaud Creative Assembly for making that happen. Because the Romans didn't beat the phalanx system with head-on charges. It beat it with maneuvering at the junior officer level. It was a more flexible system at this point. Because after the days of Alexander the Great, the phalanx system got heavier and heavier and heavier and less flexible. Whereas the Roman system got more and more flexible. So yeah, when the Roman system came up against the Macedonian system, it was basically a young boxer versus an aging boxer. So the replay is coming to an end soon. And yeah, I want you to remember the differences. I still have archers left. I should have archers left. And my opponent should only have his cav left. I think he had one heavily depleted legionnaire unit, I believe. But here, he did run into my phalanx unit here, and I did impale them, and they all routed. And luckily, I did record the last few seconds where I showed the battle results. There's a nice overhead right there of the action. Those legionnaires don't exist. They're a figment of my imagination. And that's it. So here's the actual thing. Close victory. Good game to my opponent, Rosco Simmons. Hope you guys enjoyed this commentary video for Total War Rome 2. And I hope they fix this replay soon with the next few patches coming up.